He doesn't know the source of it. The source could be somebody else who has transmitted the thought. And it manifests there. So a teacher can transmit his higher vibrations through thought or through sight or through touch or through mantra. This is the ways to go. Any one of these will do. Oh, my Guru has not given me mantra, my Guru has not given me mantra. So what? If he has looked at you for once, who knows? That could be more powerful than the mantras that you have ever chanted. Because at that time, when that look happened, at that time, if that look happened, and if at that time, by God's grace, your heart center was little open, you'll still get into it.
Beautiful.
But of course, I'll admit that if your heart center is not open at that point of time, it'll come, it'll rebound, but it'll still stay with you waiting for a time. Because the Guru's grace cannot go in vain.
There you go.
Everything can go in vain. Everything can go west. But not God's grace. Not God's words. Not that faith which happens in the heart of a devotee toward God. And that devotee could be totally illiterate, without any kind of a knowledge whatsoever about all that big talks we talk about Vedanta or this Anta and that Anta. Just an illiterate person who knows nothing but that heart, just even when such a person talks to God, vibrationally it is so easy because the vibration is so pure. There's no distortion there. Knowledge brings distortions. You have to undo a lot.
Because then you get identified as if the intellect is everything. And
Yeah.
It's just
It's an obstruction.
Frozen.
It's an obstruction. It takes time for you to undo that.
Yes.
It's only when you have undone it,
But not.
then the intuitive faculties open. Otherwise, intellect will always take care of everything around your life.
I think.
And as long as the intellect is leading your life, yes, you'll be a knowledgeable person, you'll be very, very respected maybe in the society or in your family or otherwise, whatever it is, but deep inside, you still will be longing for something which you have not received yet.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And that's the reason I feel happy to be just a divine child of my mother. Mother's child. I don't have to have enlightenment. I don't have to have lots of wisdom. I don't have to have anything, knowing fully well that mother takes care of me. So far she has done it well. And if all the past records do stand any kind of, it says that the future is well taken care of. As simple as that.
Well, if it's really possible, I would like to offer to come, and I don't want anything other than your company. Your presence is enough. I'll bring my equipment and we'll record you doing your talks. I'd like to do that.
I mean, that's what I'm telling.
I'm
the
being guided to say that.
talks. There's nothing that I can give you other than the truth to me is this. In this universe, everything is pre-recorded. When you ask a question from that pre-recorded source, instantly vibration comes. The tongue moves. And you listen. And you record. And you put it in a book. And it spreads. but it is not me, sorry.
You're the vehicle.
That needs to be. That is how the universe will select the vehicle.
Maybe I'm being selected right now.
Yes, you are, darling. You're here.
And it's funny, you know, I had to retire because I got this skin cancer about 9 years ago, and I had to retire because I got very ill, had an operation. Lucky, I found out. Many people said, why didn't you sell it? Why have you still got that equipment? You know, you could have got thousands for it back then. I said, I don't know. I'm keeping it for some reason. I'm not interested in the money particularly, you know, and now I know why I've got it. It's really world class, the best equipment I've got. So there you go.
Amazing.
And she has always been longing for this.
Good.
Yeah.
I love that song from the Beatles, you know, that song, Let It Be.
Let it be.
Beautiful song.
Let it be.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. It sings about Mother Mary came to me. Oh, it's beautiful. The Beatles were just so spiritual. Beautiful, very highly enlightened, beautiful English. That's where I grew up, was after the post-60s, 1960s. I'm very, very old. And, you know, the Beatles were such a breath of fresh air. They sang songs that were, every song was an enlightenment song in a way. Amazing. Millions of us went, wow, this is it. Along with a man called Bob Dylan, who was the American poet. And he too, with his beautiful, beautiful music and songs.
Van Morrison.
And Van Morrison, love Van
Enlightenment.
Morrison's,
Yeah,
oh, many.
I have some,
Great enlightenment music by him.
Leonard Cohen.
Leonard Cohen, I saw him live when he came here in the Hunter Valley. Made us cry. His songs are so beautiful.
So beautiful. So he went to India as well and he studied Vedic culture. And
So anyway.
amazing lyrics.
But there's no substitute for hearing somebody tell it. Well, I'm just saying, tell it how it is. That you do so beautifully. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you with all my heart. It's making a huge difference. I've been waiting for a little while going, I'd like to do something useful. You know, I'm having a wonderful life. Everything's beautiful. I feel great gratitude for everything. But it's something I need to be doing. And this is it.
There you go. You found your family.
This is it. How great.
That's very
John wanted me
nice.
to tell you briefly, if I may. We met, I was telling you, we met this couple called Hal and Sidra Stone, who had originated this psychological way of treating people. They were psychologists on the psychological personality level. And they said, first and foremost, everybody is just an aware ego. And they were very into meditation. We went to California and met them, and they were super successful and wealthy and a beautiful home. And they were seeing hundreds of thousands of clients, and they'd written books, and they said we're made up basically of many different selves, and we're coming in on the personality level, and we're coming and going out of this. It's called voice dialogue. And they said you can come and go out. Anyway, we studied. And then they said, well, what are you going to do? We said, well, we're going around the world and we're going to meet as many people who talk about consciousness as possible. And John had the idea with our old friend.
How did you have this idea?
To film.
With actually Paulina's husband.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
He's passed
Yeah,
away now, but he
yeah.
was a very, very good friend of mine for years. And then John produced this series.
And there was a whole now what do you call them? It's a transpersonal movement.
Yeah.
Transpersonal psychology, which was kind of like trying to be a bridge between psychology and spirituality.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the West, psychology was limited. So it was starting to expand through transpersonal psychology. So we went to a conference in Brazil where all these transpersonal psychologists were. And one of the first people we met was Ram Dass. Yeah. So we interviewed him and made a documentary interview. I'll bring one along, maybe to Byron. And Hal and Sidra Stone in the US and a number of others. So we did a whole series about different people's work. Stan Grof and his wife Christina Grof, who were into very brilliant psychiatrist from Czechoslovakia, and he was brought to the US because he was so brilliant, and he looked deeply into psychedelics. Then which gave people, opened people a lot to, I guess the I don't know, what a great potential within them. And then he eventually found a non-drug method of exploration. But really, in the end, it's almost like everything ends up in the Eastern wisdom. It was, really,
Yeah.
that's where it.
Beautiful.
It was an incredible experience. We really learned
Because
a lot.
ultimately, if you look at it, it originated from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
It originated from there, travels all around, but once again comes back to the mother to say thank you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And to my mother.
Coming back to the mother and saying, oh, thank you. Because you're the mother of all this wisdom. What? The Vedic, the Upanishadic, the Bhagavad Gita, all of it. If you just, kind of squeeze each one of them, even if few drops come out of it, they're enough to quench anybody's thirst.
Amazing.
Yeah, so great.
I love what you said earlier about the Om, because I love Om. I love the
Yeah.
I've chanted it for 40
And look what
years.
any
You
mantras,
said it's in every cell.
every cell of our body,
I never heard
in the
anyone-
air, in the ether, if only we can listen to it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It is true when you chant Om and Om and Om and Om.
Oh.
I mean, with Baba, we used to chant Om Namah Shivaya really day and night.
I have
It was
a CD.
Well,
Previously it was a CD, but now you can have it in anything, which is basically a chant of Om.
yeah.
Megha,
I
that
have a CD, can I bring it for them?
can you?
I got a lot of CDs.
No, you have the Om CD of mine.
Of
Okay.
course.
Okay.
As soon as you say yes, I'll give it to them.
Okay.
Yes?
Okay. Yes.
Because the CD is time going, so when I go to the shop, the ashram, I collect them all. So I'll bring it here.
Yeah.
Looks like we're gonna have another
Good
wonderful time in Byron Bay. You know what I say? Byron Bay.
I love it. Yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.
You must stay.
Oh, you're a poet, and I know it. And I hope you don't.
Namaste, and you must stay.
Namaste, you must stay.
Paul, when you come to Byron Bay, she's going to sing this to you. Be very careful. Because because that's a very magical thing. She says yes, but then it is a little binding. Then you stay.
Like that plant that you just take.
You know the naturalist David Attenborough? Famous
Attenborough, yes,
he's
yes.
he's 92.
Yes.
I had the privilege of working with him when he last came. He did a series called First Life, and I did the sound. And it was a magic of my life to work with him, surf him. I did the sound on that. Anyway, but he's got a new series which just started last week, and it's about insects. And they've developed a new camera, and they film the whole behavior of the insect as if you're in the nest in close up
Wow.
of the female waiting, for 10 minutes to get this beetle, and then she and winds it up with silk and all the different kinds of silk. Try and see this. It's David Attenborough's series, brand new series. It's on Channel 22 on the ABC. It is the most beautifully filmed thing I've ever seen. And there's David, talking and telling us the story so brilliantly about the behavior of these insects. And it's incredible. They meant,
This is the CD I was talking
yeah.
It's beautiful.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Yeah,
Simply
but
very
then,
nice. This
Ma, do
looks
you
good.
have a, by
Player?
chance, do you have a CD player anywhere here?
Yeah, because I'm old, my laptop, and I've got 3 CD player.
Oh.
But it should be in your laptop.
That's beautiful.
I've got a CD player in my laptop or car.
Yeah, so you
Oh,
can.
then you can take it.
Then you can, please take. And then you can put it in the USB. I would have more copies,
Yeah.
but these days when I'm because I tidy the house,
What you
make
can
room.
do, John.
I've got a
you
little
can- no, no,
thing
what
I
you
can burn
do,
copies.
You know, Max,
Oh,
what
good,
you can
yes.
do,
Yeah.
But
John
I-
can make a couple of copies and he'll
I can.
that's
I've got
not-
I've got
He
these
can do it.
proper machine for copying,
Oh, well, then
making
you
copies.
give it to me.
If you like, I can make a few.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
I'll bring them up.
Because I have more copies, but
Be my
Baba,
pleasure.
where I have got, I don't
I can
know.
do that. Oh, I'm putting myself right online here. Of course, it'd be a pleasure to do that. Om Shri Lokanathaya Namaha.
Max is
Om
our
Shri
huge
Lokanathaya.
resource.
Exactly.
He's
I'm a
our
resource,
technical
that's right.
support.
Abundant resource.
I just, in return, all I want to do is be the source.
I have this
You
one
are
only
the
one.
source.
I am the
Sorry,
source.
I've got this one only one, and we did a dance on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful. Satyam Sivam. That one.
Satyam Jnanam.
Oh, love that. He just came to my
Yeah.
mind the other
Yeah,
day.
it's so beautiful this one. But this one also, because I would save it in the USB and I would email you.
Good idea.
Email the file.
Yeah.
Email the
The
file.
file.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I'll do that.
We can
This is
share.
a song which my Gurudev used to sing. I recorded that. These are all studio recordings, so
Beautiful.
it's a little
Yeah,
different.
they look
I mean, the sound system that you have, maybe, you know, with your sound system, we can do many more things, you know, kind of.
Yes,
There are a lot of things
I
that.
just got a little CD burner. You slot this in and you plug it into your Macintosh laptop, and then you can burn new copies as many.
No, I'm talking about
The
your
recording.
your
I've
recording
got a digital
system.
tape recorder.
Yeah, digital recorder.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a digital recorder. and you-
Because what happens is that, you know, excuse me, I'm little
Oh,
cold.
can't listen to
cold.
that.
So
I know, I want to.
you'll see this Om chanting. Actually, it so happened, a gentleman came to the place where I was, and he was sitting. I asked, "What do you do?" Just casually, and he was a young man. He said, "You know, I do fusion music." I said, "Oh, fusion music? What's about it?" Then he started explaining what kind of stuff he does and all that. I became very inquisitive, and then I said, "You know, I've been thinking about doing a small little." Let's say in those days it was like the cassettes, you know, that
Tape.
tape record
Tape
cassettes.
recorder, tape recorder.
I said, I'm interested in because so many people ask me, can I do a Om chant? He said, we'll do it right now. I said, right now? What do you mean? He said, you come with me. I'm taking you to my home. I have a studio in my home. I'm going to get it done right today. He took me, he didn't give me time anymore, as if it was like order executed. And he instantly got up and he said, come on, it's time for us to leave. And then I immediately followed him, got into his car, he drove me to his home. We went to a small little room which was full with huge, big, this kind of boards all over. And then he said, I must find a right pad for it. You keep chanting, you don't worry, you keep chanting home. I'll take care of my pad. So he was searching in his big piano, something like a background music, you know, which will go with it. They call it pad. So he was searching here and there. Finally, he landed up to one which he liked. I says, wait. Now, he brought the microphone and he said, now, you keep chanting. I said, but you must tell me when you're going to finally record it because I don't know what's happening. He said, no, you don't need to know anything what's happening. You need to keep chanting. Oh, that's all. You chant in any way you like. I said, then how are you going to? Because I was so bad with the different scales of music. I had nothing, no musical head this is. So I was just thinking how to do these scales and all that. But anyway, I was just doing from one to the other in my own way. I was trying out this note and that note and this note and that note. And then finally he said, it's over. You don't have to do any more. I said, recording is over? He said, recording is over. I said, you have completed recording? He said, yes, completed recording. Now you wait for 5 minutes, I'll show you what it is all. Then he put the pad and he put my sounds. He cut this, cut that, and took one out of it. And then he put it on that pad, and this is what it is.
Aww.
It was just like that. He made it and gave it to me. He said, you wanted it, it's yours.
Unbelievable.
My point is this. With the divine wishes, then it's not just a wish. It is translated. When man wishes, it's a wish.
It's just a wish.
Its translation takes time.
Yeah.
But when the divine wishes, there's no time gap. He says, just come, join me. I'll take you and it'll be done. And it was done. And there was no rehearsals. There was no money. See, at least some kind of preparations and everything, and nothing. No harmonium, nothing. And you'll see, many people told me this is better than any Oms that I've ever heard.
Fantastic.
It's amazing. You will.
Really, really good.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You will love
You
it.
have got that?
Yeah.
It's really good.
You can pass on to Sudan Man, to you also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This soul is so beautiful.
Yes, isn't it?
She always comes with some question or the other, which I love so much. She brings a lot of vibrations to the, each of the
Yeah.
satsangs with
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
very sincere questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That adds the energy to the whole thing. It brings about that conversational type of. So you should be always there for all the satsangs.
She's coming to Byron Bay. She's a very close with Susan. Yeah, I already said
Are
to
you
her. she's
coming to
coming.
Are you coming
She's
to Byron
coming.
Bay?
She'll,
I'm trying now.
she'll do her best.
Why?
Have you seen this one?
Try.
She's got
Have you seen
family
this one?
kids.
Oh,
But
For your
That's
kids.
Is it really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Responsibilities.
Lovely.
It's
Lovely.
This is him.
But
Oh,
even
wow.
even
How
if you
old?
Baba, how old were you? Show the photo.
this photo is
34, 34,
No,
32,
you're
34.
much younger.
isn't it?
Baba, this is much younger. You forgot.
Oh my God.
God is much younger. Look at this.
Oh,
Lovely picture. Yeah.
Up the,
Ageless.
this is for me. These are the mountain people.
It's only a
There's
picture.
one photo of
It's only a
Bobby,
picture.
his
It's not who he is.
with long hair and
Yeah.
red. He looks exactly like Jesus.
yeah, that's what I said. He looks like Jesus.
He looks like there as well.
Yeah.
But there's another
Another
picture where
one.
he looks exactly like Jesus.
And when he
And you know
walks,
one person who is laughing loud now?
Jesus.
Jesus.
Because it is Jesus.
He says, I never knew I have left a Xerox copy of mine.
There's one thing Jesus said apparently that he said, which I love. He said, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do.
Yeah.
I love that about the human suffering and the sort of
Yeah.
evil that is going on in certain parts of the planet now. And I remember that so often now, that Jesus saying that
You know
amazing
that-
thing to say. Father, and look what they did to him, but Father, forgive them for they know not what they do.
I asked Guru Baba, the
Amazing.
pain he felt, as soon as I started, I was just crying, the physical pain. He said so many things that they really didn't feel the pain that way. But I felt as a human, putting a needle, a big screw,
Yeah, I know.
And he said, forgive them, they don't know what they're
I
doing.
know.
And if Jesus was not taken to the cross, if Jesus was not nailed and bled, you'll have no Christianity.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Suffering.
Christianity is not Jesus.
No.
They're two different things.
He loved humans.
If Christianity could be Jesus, things would be totally different for this world. He who symbolizes love, in the name of love, what has been done for the last millennia?
So true.
Power, might, pride, ego,
Oh, yes.
all of it are foreign to this man.
Yeah.
They don't belong to him. These are all foreign substance to Jesus. So, I mean, see, these masters come at their own time, space. But it's not the Judas alone who doesn't understand them and betray them. There are many millions who follow after them, who never try to understand them and betray them. But a few would cry in the name of such masters. And they will always receive the grace of the masters. Because nothing touches the feet of God as easy as the tears of love. not knowledge of our intellect.
So true. He used to wash all the old ladies' feet. Same thing, our big sages and sadhu, they used to also, like Ramakrishna Thakur also, old lady, he would go and nurse her in the midnight, so same thing in the Hindu sadhus, they've done. Jesus has done the same thing. So they are, to me, the same. Give love, be love, give love. Like Baba said, I like that line so well. Give love, be love, spread love. This is a quotation. I want to make some T-shirt and write on it. It will be nice. And both you are
I
and
do a
said
lot
that.
of things.
Unfortunately, I'm too old, but I have a lot of long lists I want to do.
So when we drive together, she says, "This is the land. Yes, I will make a house over here. The house will look like this." So she has all kinds of
plans.
The house is already built.
Oh, they took this huge land. Every night I slept well, planned about it. And Richard Moorcraft, the ABC.
Yeah, he's great.
I did a lot of dance drama with him.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
He's lovely.
And that land belonged to him. And then they sold it, and now they're making 1 million flats and nursing homes. I wanted one lottery. And then Guruji told me, buy the lottery. I said, keep playing, buy the lottery. Then play. I didn't buy the lottery ticket.
You have to be in it to
It's a Jewish joke like that, exactly like that.
He did laugh. He
Oh my God, I can't
said,
believe it. It's really a joke like that. The Jewish joke.
Baba didn't laugh when he said it. He said, buy the ticket, and then we'll see what happens.
Not buy the ticket.
Yeah.
Step one.
But I would be very happy one day if you go and see the village where Baba's ashrams are. There are a few, and it's amazing. They all had. I'm sorry, I lived in India, many villages, many places. My mom used to take us, like the native people, like Aboriginal people, many places.
Yeah.
So I grew up to learn that. But here, you don't. Oh my God! Don't do that. Here, they had the confidence in them. We are self-sufficient. Don't worry about us. They are not rich, but they all. Baba had trained them how to be self-sufficient. Don't beg, and he says, "Don't beg." And I used to feel, oh my, sorry, I feel guilty that I've got a big house. I got pension. That's not right. I got very good superannuation pension. Oh, sorry. Triple S pension. So I want to spend. But that is the. And then I like to do something. He said, "No, don't do the donation like that, because if you give them money today, what's going to happen tomorrow?" So the wonderful work these volunteers are doing, with this much money, they do that much work. Like all the people will build roads, build hospital, all the big charity organization. He has got a factory where he builds human. He fixed me. He fixed a lot of things, building, fixing. So he's got a factory where he built and rebuilt the human, honestly. He's got a lot of schools on the footpath. He doesn't need a building now. He has got his schools on the footpath. He just like a tin shed and a couple of bricks, he just leases the land and some places like that, and they train the teachers and they'll go and teach. So you don't need too much money.
That's very Byron Bay, actually. In Byron Bay, we're creating little schools with us.
Yeah, it's like that. It's so beautiful.
The guru is like a paper beater.
Human detail.
Reshape.
In Australia, panel beater and plumbers are much richer.
That's very true.
They're much richer.
Yeah. It's very true.
Max, it's time.
It's time.
Sorry.
It's way past my bedtime.
Yeah.
All men
Bedtime.
should be in bed by 10 o'clock. Old men like me.
We all have to drive for an hour.
Yeah, we
Right?
took a big drive.
Yeah.
It's been such
So
a
you're all
wonderful,
in.
wonderful evening. Thank you so
It
much.
was such a
So
joy
we
for
should
each
do-
one of us.
It was
Only
really
thing that we really need to thank is the one who has united us into one.
That's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And our continual thankfulness
To the,
so that we can sustain this beautiful friendship
yes,
and come out with something that
Yes.
sustains
yes.
even after we all are gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. May it be so.
That's very important.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and whatever
Wow, I'm
little
getting shivers
and
again.
whatever little you
Yeah.
do when you are alive.
That's right.
Yes.
There is a beautiful word in our Vedic tradition. It says, Bahujana Sukhaya, Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya, Atmana Mokshartham Jagadhitaya cha. Which means Bahujana Hitaya, for the good of many.
Yeah.
Bahujana Sukhaya, for the happiness of many. For the good of many, for the happiness of many. What I want is the freedom of my soul into salvation state. And how? Only by serving. Which will bring about happiness to many and goodness to many. And at the same time, my own unfettering from all the fetters of bondages. So every action of mine, every thought of mine has to ultimately liberate myself. And in the process, liberate others. Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukha. How? Why my life? Not for my sake, for the happiness and good of others. But that I can never do until such time I myself am free. If I am bound, I cannot free anybody else. If I am ignorant, I cannot lit lamp in anybody's hearts.
Yeah.
So that way, every day we need to awaken to our higher consciousness in such a manner. In the process, we should be able to inculcate this particular sense of spiritual quality in each one of them. Every day, little by little. Jai Baba Loknath.
Jai Baba Lakshmi, Jai Baba Lakshmi.
this is very good. So I'll remove my card. I'll move the
It's 11:40 in the night.
The night's never